Have you ever wondered why certain people manage to stay totally calm even when everything around them is just descending into absolute chaos? Seriously, it's a fascinating thing to witness.
I mean, why is it that some individuals can face crushing rejection, failure, or even profound loss without actually losing themselves in the process? We usually just assume, they've got some special gift. But as we unpack this today, we're going to cross a few things off the list. We're eliminating luck, we're eliminating innate talent, and we're even going to rule out mere confidence as the secret to surviving modern anxiety.
So welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving deep into a mindset that has actually survived for over 2 millennia. We're talking about Stoicism. And what's wild about this is that it was practiced by Roman emperors and former slaves alike. Now, to be clear, it doesn't offer some magic spell to just poof your pain away. Instead, it teaches us the profound secret of how to face that pain without being destroyed by it. So, let's get right into it.
Section 1. The reality of adversity. Basically, life will test you. You see, we all walk around with this deeply flawed expectation that life should just smoothly follow our carefully laid plans. And, well, when reality doesn't match up with those expectations, we suffer. But the Stoics, they looked at it entirely differently. To them, the obstacle is the path. Challenges aren't these annoying exceptions to life. They are the rule. They are literally the exact path you take to become stronger. Which brings us to a really heavy-hitting realization from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. And by the way, picture this. He was writing these notes to himself in a tent during a grueling war. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The crucial mindset shift we're making here is dropping that victim mentality of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead asking, "Okay, how can I use this?" Because every single setback is a test of character. Moving on to Section 2, the Dichotomy of Control, or focusing on what you actually can control. Now, this concept comes straight from the teachings of Epictetus, who amazingly developed these ideas as a former slave. Just looking at the stark contrast here is pretty eye-opening. Think about the things we simply cannot control: the weather, other people's opinions, the economy, the past. Yet honestly, isn't this exactly where we waste massive amounts of our energy? Now flip it. Think about the things we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our choices, and our attitude. True mental strength kicks in the exact second you accept this boundary and start pouring your power exclusively into that second group.
It's kind of like you're a passenger on a bus. You absolutely cannot control the road, the traffic, or the crazy weather outside. But you have total, 100% control over how you behave during the ride. Life is exactly the same way. The more you chase control over the uncontrollable, the more anxious you're going to feel. Just focus on your own behavior on the bus.
Section 3. Your mind is a fortress. It's time to build that fortress. The core idea here is that external events themselves cannot truly harm you. It's only your judgments about them that do the damage. Imagine 2 people lose their jobs on the exact same day. One person interprets this as the end of the world. The other? They see it as a new beginning. The external event is completely identical. Literally the exact same thing happened. But their interpretation creates 2 entirely different emotional realities, based purely on their perspective. It's just amazing how the Stoics actively trained themselves to hit the pause button. Grounding this idea is some classic wisdom from Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. See, when something bad happened, they didn't just immediately give in to panic. They stopped. They questioned it. They asked themselves, wait, is this situation actually as terrible as my emotions are telling me it is right now? And by doing that, they built an absolute fortress out of their minds. Section 4. Accept what you cannot change. Put simply, don't fight reality.
Honestly, this is one of the toughest lessons to actually put into practice. Why? Because so much of our daily suffering stems from uselessly arguing with reality. We wish the past were different, but, newsflash, wishing doesn't change a single thing. Marcus Aurelius used to regularly remind himself to accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny. And I want to be super clear here. Acceptance is not weakness. It's definitely not surrender. Acceptance is just the ultimate clarity of seeing reality exactly as it is without fighting it, so you can actually take effective action.
So what's the big takeaway? Don't scream at the rain. Adjust your sails. Reality literally does not care about our complaints. If you're caught out in a storm, screaming at the wind does absolutely nothing. But reality heavily rewards adaptation.
Section 5. Adversity as your training. Welcome to the gym for your mind. The Stoics fundamentally viewed hardship not as some kind of punishment you have to avoid, but as a mandatory workout for your brain. Just listen to this fantastic quote from Seneca. "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Man, what an empowering way to look at things. Just like your muscles need the discomfort of physical resistance to grow, our character demands the friction of challenges. Without that discomfort, there is absolutely zero growth or resilience.
Let's actually map out how this works in real life. Every specific type of difficulty you face acts as a specialized training opportunity to forge a valuable virtue. Encountering failure? Well, that develops humility. Experiencing a profound loss? That forces you to develop deep gratitude for what remains. Criticism trains your patience. And facing uncertainty? That builds your courage. Obstacles are essentially just perfectly disguised opportunities to practice these virtues.
Section 6. Freedom through self-discipline. It's all about mastering your emotions. In our modern era, we kind of assume that freedom just means doing whatever you want whenever the urge strikes. But Stoicism flips that assumption right on its head. The Stoic requirement of self-mastery essentially says that if your emotions control you, you are not free. Think about it. If you're constantly controlled by anger, fear, or just chasing the next pleasure, you're a slave to those impulses. Real strength is taking responsibility and doing your duty, even when you completely lack the motivation to do it. A Stoic acts because it's the right thing to do, not because they happen to feel like it in the moment.
Section 7. Remember your own mortality. Now we arrive at the profound philosophical anchor of the whole Stoic mindset, Memento Mori. It's a Latin phrase that translates to remember that you will die. Okay, I know at first glance that sounds like an incredibly depressing way to start your morning, but for the Stoics, this was an actively liberating practice. When you unpack this, you realize that once you are deeply, truly aware that your time here is temporary, all those petty arguments and little jealousies suddenly become completely meaningless. It totally diminishes your fear and makes every single day, every single conversation incredibly precious. It literally forces you to live in the present.
All right, let's summarize this actionable toolkit. If you want to follow the Stoic path and face inevitable hardships with ancient wisdom, here's what you do. Focus strictly on what you control. Accept what you cannot. Actively use adversity as your mental training ground. Master your emotions. Practice relentless self-discipline. And always remember the fleeting value of your time. That right there is how you remain steady when life inevitably tests you.
I want to leave you with a final, provocative question to chew on the next time your plans fail or adversity strikes. Instead of asking why it's happening to you, ask yourself, who are you becoming because of your obstacles? Remember, you are so much stronger than your circumstances. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Take this ancient wisdom, go adjust your sails, and just keep moving forward.